this is the simple solder band. We're going to do the silver ring. I need some flux on here, and I'm using Handy Flux. And I'm going to put it on the seam. This is our seam. I do need to readjust it a little bit. So don't worry about how much flux you put on them. That's fine. I am going to cut this piece of hard solder. Can you see that? It's a hard solder wire. I'm going to cut a piece off of it. And we're going to set it underneath. We're going to set it underneath the seam. So let me get my optivisors on and try not to get my head in your way, so I can find that seam and get my solder off there and stick my seam on top of that. So I'm gonna let you get a close-up of that so you can see where the seam is setting on top of the solder. There's a reason for that. For a simple solder, this is best. So, because it's gonna suck it up from underneath. Now, solder supposedly does not fill holes, and most of the time it won't. And this is a plumber's torch. Okay, here we go. So you can use that as well. You don't have to have fancy material or fancy tools. So what we're doing is bouncing this torch off at the solder board, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around. And we're gonna let this heat, indirect heat. Now, do you see where that color has changed? This is a flux also, that is a fire protectant. It helps it not to get fire rash, basically, fire skill. So now that we're turning colors, I'm gonna turn up my heat a little bit. Here we go, on the seam. That flux bubbled up, and hopefully you can see that the flame is changing colors. We're getting ready to flow. There it went. Hopefully you got to see that sucked up. So, hang on a minute, and we're gonna back the camera up just a little bit and go to the quenching bowl with my copper tongs. Quenching bowl's over here. So we quenched it, and now we're gonna drop it in the pickle pot.